Well, we're moving ahead on this project, and I've done some fusing of the fabrics that I want to use. You can see the piece of fusible that I cut to work with, and then I laid strips of fabric on it to fuse it down. And so I have two different fabrics here. Now this piece has a lot of different pieces. Basically there are three larger pieces, and then there's these smaller pieces that are covering little gaps so that I could sew it on. Plus when I cut them out of there, there'll be usable parts of them. We'll have fusible on the back, okay? So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different fabrics fused. This makes 7, 8, 9, 10 fabrics fused. This one was just here to cover this little bit of glue here so it didn't get on my iron. But, so you can see the different ways that I'm utilizing my sheets. Now when I cut these out, I will be careful to make sure that I cut off any areas of fabric that do not have fusible. Okay, because you do not want to work with fabric that does not have fusible on the back. You'll do all the work and then it'll just fall off of your background because it doesn't have the fusible on it. Okay, so make sure of that. And then I've got these two fused and ready to go. So I've done quite a bit of prep work here for my fusibles, and I will be going in next to use some of these on the bigger project. Okay. Hello everyone, and I wanted to show you where I'm beginning to go now after fusing some of my pieces. Let me get this board down here so you can see what I'm doing. I have cut some elements. I cut some elements out of this fabric. It had this peacock feather look to it. So I cut a few of those focal points like flowers. And then I cut some of the swirly stuff to just simulate leaves. And I just auditioned it around where I thought I might like to put it and build around it. And I'm pretty happy with where that is. And then I just cut some little pieces you can see here that I will start using a few as mosaic pieces. I'm really liking this teal blue around this yellow, and so that will be my focal color basically around the yellow. I will be adding a lot of more colors, but the majority or the biggest element will grab your eye, so that will be this teal color here. And so I'm ready to actually get these down, adhere them down. Let's see. You want to find places where things fit and yet the has the break for the black grouting like. And I brought this all the way out to the edge here. Just going to cover that little bit of pencil there with the tip. Actually, I'll bring it back down because when I put my border on, I'll make sure to cover that edge there. So you can see that I've left this little crack simulating the grout in between, okay? And you want to be careful and do that each time. And I'm going to do this whole element down, okay? Now, bigger elements that you put on, you can come back with, if let's say a little piece of black, okay? And I want to simulate that this has been also put on let's say with broken glass. And just exactly where that break would look best. Let's see, I believe I have that peeled, but let's check. Yes. You don't want it to be just all the way obvious in a certain place. And you don't want your breaks too big. So if you think it's a little bit big, I think the bottom part is going to be okay. Let me just keep playing with it till I get what I want out of it. I'm not liking that. All right. Let's say that went in 2 pieces. So we will tack that black piece on top of that piece out to the edge, and then we'll trim off the extra. That's how you get grout into larger pieces that you put in, so that you continue the look of the stained glass. Okay, save all your pieces. Just put them around your board because you will use these pieces. Okay, so that is in now, and the stained glass look of that is in. And I will be doing some of that inside these bigger flowers. I'm going to take this little bitty one that I saved and cut it in half. And try to show you what I'm talking about here. I find a little tiny break I need to break. That won't work. Let's say I want to build a break here. I can start putting the pieces and get me another piece and put it out there. Let's see. Let's say that one broke this flower here. You know, the elements in stained glass don't go in huge whole chunks. Not most of the time. Sometimes there are pieces that do. But most of the time they will go in main elements in bigger pieces, but not necessarily big chunks of pieces. And what this does from a distance, when you observe art from the distance you're supposed to, is just continue the stained glass look. Okay, that's all that is going to be doing. And I have, let's see, another piece over here. Let me get it up. It's pretty small. And I'm going to cut just a sliver off the edge of that. And it's longer. And let's see what I can do with that one. That looks good there. Okay, so you can see how you can begin to break up a bigger piece so that it looks like it's been put in there stained glass wise, okay? Now, I want to put this one right in there. So let me get that one backing off of it. See this little red out here? Doesn't that work in good? I'm tucking it right in to that point that's already there. Makes it easy to put it in. Then I'm going to take this piece, peel it, and I'm going to simulate it as a leaf piece coming off of this. And again, this is a piece that I'm going to take out to the edge. Give myself a little bit more black space there. All right. Once you get in place, be very careful when you put your heat down the first time that you don't move it, and lock it in. Then you can tack it in, okay? And again, with like the bigger pieces, you may not want to do the whole thing like I did up here, so that you can come back and tuck things under it if you want to, until you know for sure that you're ready for it to be just like that. Okay, this one I thought I would angle in about like that. Now remember, this is not planned out. This is simply go with the flow. Whatever feels good or right at the time. I'm utilizing curves and direction that's already there around this little petal. Okay. Now this one I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm using this longer piece because I do want it to come down into this. Now notice that the lightest side of this piece is going to the lighter side, the same way this piece did, okay? These greens are lighter than these. So we're still staying with the light side and the shadow side. All right, tuck it into that natural curve. Find a way to do that, and then bring it down. And stick it. Now this one is going to come all the way and tip this one right here. Okay, I didn't leave a space between that. That's okay. That's such a tiny area, it will never draw any attention, okay? This piece still has the paper on it. And in fact, can bring the leaf up over that edge, and you will never know how far that goes into that. So let's do that right there. Let's make that a permanent thing. I like that. Okay. All right, now this one, we're going to continue putting these pieces down permanently. Now, what I like to do is after I get my focal point down, I like to get my bigger elements that think I'm going to like in. So, and then I can come back and work all the little tiny pieces of mosaics, okay? All right, so we got that down. So we've got all these major pieces in here, okay? Now you see these, I'm going to move this to the outside. You see these little pieces that I've done here. I know that I'm going to want a little bit of a mosaic color in here, so I'm going to put one there, and I had this one over here that worked good into that corner, leaving a little bit there. Let's see, I don't want to overdo it because I want other things in there. Let's see, will this come in there? Nah, I don't really like that one. I want one a little more pointy than that. What if I came out here? Now you can cut and reshape any piece, so you know, don't think that if it's not perfect, can't be there. So let's just put those down, and we'll work with those 3 pieces. Okay, notice that I'm just heating them enough to get them down. I don't have to sit there and iron. Okay, so we've got a beginning on our secondary colors. Let's play with this fabric a little bit, see what we can do. We can get the backing off of it. Make sure that all your fabric has glue on the back. And I'm going to cut these in like little tiny leaf shapes or some little flower shapes maybe. I don't mean real intricate, but just little, little simulations, okay? Let's go. Isn't that pretty, just laid in there like that? It's too big for that one. A little bit too big for that one. In the beginning, you don't have to really cut pieces down. Just play around until you find a place where they fit. But remember to leave your room for your grouting look. Don't totally take that away. Okay. All right. Those 2 fit really good in there. All right. Isn't that a pretty little splash of color? So let's put those down. Now your little pieces you don't have to break up because you're putting grout in between them. Okay. Now you can begin to see how we can play with our color in there. We've got this has black, so it keeps it on the darker side, but it has little splashes of light pink, so it's kind of a blend of both colors. So it's kind of working good tucked under these flowers here. Okay. If I were going to put, say, one out here, I might try just cutting the lighter pink part out of it or going with a totally different color altogether. Okay, that begins to show you how to start getting into your work and working with your different elements. And I'm going to hold this video here, and I'll be back with more of our beautiful stained glass artwork.